Have you ever thought that empty roads are just wind and trees? But sometimes there's more. A scream echoing from the woods, mysterious footprints around your car, or a pair of eyes watching you from the darkness. In tonight's video, you'll hear 4 true horror stories, real-life experiences that began as just another drive home, until things took a terrifying turn no one could have predicted. Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, and prepare to enter the night. Story 1. The Scream in the Woods. I'm not someone who gets spooked easily, but that night was different. It was around midnight, and I had just finished a late shift. I live in a small, quiet town, just woods, cornfields, and very few houses. I was driving my old convertible down a familiar road, cornfields on one side, thick, dark forest on the other. It was a cool summer night, around 73 degrees with a light breeze. I had the top down, enjoying the fresh air. Everything was peaceful, until I heard it, a woman's scream piercing through the night. It was long, broken, like someone being tortured. I slammed the brakes, heart pounding. The scream came from the forest, but strangely I couldn't tell where exactly. I killed the engine and grabbed the baton I kept behind my seat for safety, then stepped out. The night air suddenly felt colder. "Can I help you?" "Who's out there?" I yelled. A woman's voice, trembling, pleading, called back, "Please, help me." Without thinking, I ran into the woods. Branches slapped my face, grass scraped my hands, but I followed the sound. Every time I called, she screamed again, as if guiding me. But then, I noticed something wrong. I had gone deep into the woods, and yet the scream stayed the same distance. It never got louder, never clearer. Almost like I was chasing something that wasn't moving. I stopped, gasping for air, heart racing. "Where are you?" I shouted. 5 seconds later, the scream came again, closer this time. But deep down, everything in me said the opposite. That's when it hit me, I'm being lured. I turned and ran. I didn't care about the branches anymore. I just wanted to get out. When I saw my headlights through the trees, I felt relief, until I froze. Right next to my car door was a fresh, muddy footprint. It wasn't mine. The tracks went toward the woods and then back to the car. I jumped in, locked the doors, started the engine. Even as I drove away, I could still hear the scream the same distance away, as if it was following me. I got home, called 911 just to be safe. I wasn't planning to return there. Days later, the news broke. A woman in her 30s was found dead in those woods, less than 500 meters from where I stopped. There were no signs of trauma, no wounds, no explanation. They said she had been dead for days. But I clearly remember that trembling voice, begging for help, was just meters away from me. So if she was already dead, who or what did I hear that night? Story 2. The Man Who Pretended to Need Help. I've always thought of myself as cautious, but that night on a snowy back road, I almost didn't get the chance to be cautious again. I was driving to a friend's cabin in Vermont for a ski weekend. It was 1 a.m., no cars around, just the sound of tires crunching snow. Suddenly, my F-150's temperature gauge spiked. The truck trembled and lost power. I had to pull over. I stepped out with a flashlight, cold wind cutting my face. No cell service. Everything was eerily quiet. I got back inside, turned on the engine for heat, and waited. Then a silver Toyota drove by. I turned on the hazards and waved. The man inside stopped and rolled down his window. "I've got no service," I said. "Can I borrow your phone?" He paused, then nodded. As he handed it over, I glanced at the lock screen. It was a picture of a house. and it looked exactly like mine. Trying not to react, I called my friend and roadside service. He said good luck and drove off. 15 minutes later, while I was playing Sudoku, a loud knock hit the passenger window. I jumped. It was the same man, now screaming, "Please, I'm lost, I'm freezing." I turned on the light. Same coat, same man. "But now begging, I'm not opening the door," I said. He grabbed the handle, started banging. I heard metal, something hard was in his sleeve. I didn't wait. I floored the gas even with the engine straining. I glanced back. He was gone. Then I saw it. His Toyota. Parked silently by the roadside, headlights off. Footprints leading from the driver's seat to where I had just seen him. On the passenger window, a message was scrawled with a finger. "Next time, don't lock the door." I've never driven that road alone again. Story 3. The Man and the Blue Tarp. It was a quiet Friday night. I was driving my girlfriend through town, then onto a forest back road for a change of scenery. We stopped briefly to use the bathroom outside, no one around. Just wind and insects. But the moment we stepped out, we both smelled it, a sickening stench like something dead. My girlfriend nearly threw up. "Probably just a dead animal," I said. We rushed back toward the car. Then we heard a faint snap, a twig breaking. My girlfriend froze. I told her to get in and lock the doors. I took out my phone and went to investigate. I turned on the flashlight, saw nothing. So I held up the phone and took a flash photo, hoping it would reveal more. When I checked the photo, my blood ran cold. A man in a black and white striped shirt was standing a few meters behind a filthy blue tarp covering something on the ground. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. I backed up, then ran, got in the car and sped off. Later that night, I checked the photo again and found it had been replaced. Now it showed a different angle, a shot from behind me, as if taken over my shoulder. Story 4. The Woman on the Country Road. My best friend and I were driving around the countryside late at night. We passed a small house with a porch light on. A man stood there silently watching us, unblinking. We joked that maybe he was just guarding his home, but we both felt uneasy. Minutes later, our headlights lit up something standing in the middle of the road. At first, I thought it was a deer, but it was a woman, old, disheveled, dressed in blood-stained white clothes, holding something that looked like a knife. She raised both hands and screamed, "They're not dead." I saw them breathing. I floored it, heart pounding. We took a long detour just to avoid that stretch of road. I never found out who she was, but months later there was a report of a human trafficking and drug ring busted in the very house near where we saw the man. I don't know if it was connected, but since that night I've learned one thing. Not everyone who screams for help should be saved, and not everyone who stays silent is harmless. 4 stories. 4 terrifying experiences that still haunt those who lived them. Shadowy figures in the dark, luring voices, tiny details that meant something far worse. If you've ever had a moment that chilled you to the bone in the middle of the night, share it in the comments. Who knows? It could be the next story told here. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next shadow.